Payne, if he would, to say the pledge. Mr. Payne.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, if you will, call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Matheson? Mr. Payne?
Here.
Miss Reese?
Here.
Mr. Carlton?
Here. All right. Do we have any visitors? Did you need to speak or just visiting? Okay. So I don't see anybody else. Let's move on to the consent agenda. Is there anything on there that anyone wants to pull off?
Move we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Miss Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. All right, next is our student board member, Lauren Patterson.
Happy March! Junior ACT Day is March 16th, and students in 9th, 10th, and 12th grade will have virtual learning to minimize distractions. Juniors will be in person during normal school hours. Our robotics teams have the opportunity to compete next weekend to qualify for state competition, so be sure to show your encouragement. Seniors, prom is currently planned to be April 24th from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Carnegie Hotel. Masks will be mandatory via Carnegie's policy, and we're fortunate to have this opportunity. Furthermore, May 22nd is rapidly approaching, so seniors, please be sure to order your caps and gowns via Jostens. Local scholarship deadlines are coming up soon, so be sure to apply, as you never know if you'll get it otherwise. Spring sports have started up as the weather warms, and the tennis courts and ball fields are full. The grading period ends Monday, March 15th, so be sure to turn in your work and have a great rest of the month.
All right, thank you very much, Lauren.
Where's that robotics competition at?
It's going to be in Bristol.
The one in Bristol? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next item is second and final reading of TSBA recommended policy changes for fundraising activities, sick leave, family medical leave, interrogations and searches, and special education students. Dr. Simcox?
Yes, just a reminder on fundraising activities, this is a new policy that we needed to follow the state law. So we adopted the policy TSBA gave us. On sick leave, to be in compliance with state law, we needed to remove the fact that sick leave for maternity purposes may be taken during the period of physical disability only. To be in compliance, we had to add that you can use sick leave for maternity leave purposes. For family and medical leave, it was the updated version of the policy regarding FMLA leave. We had to adopt that policy. For interrogations and searches, we had to adopt the policy that contains language that is aligned with state and federal law, and it's what we do anyway. We just had to add it to our policy. And the same thing with special education students. We had to model the restraint and isolation that aligns with the state law. So it's just all following state law.
All right. Do we have any discussion on these or any questions? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve them.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
Have a second. Call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Miss Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Next item is the Esser Funds, which is elementary and secondary school emergency relief. And these are federal funds that are coming to us. And that is a report by Miss Angie Wills.
And I do want to thank Angie. I don't think people understand how hard it is to write a grant, but when you're writing grants of this magnitude, she puts a lot of time and effort into this. If you change one thing in the grant, you have to go back and change another line item. So her and Tina both spend numerous hours working on grants, but the Esser, especially the 2.0 and the upcoming 3.0, are huge grants, and they do a wonderful job above and beyond. So I do want to just acknowledge that for them. So Angie, I'm going to turn it over to you.
It's whatever you want to, but I can't understand you as well with your mask off.
Take it off.
Yeah.
All right. So last month, Mr. Carlton asked for us just to do a quick update about the Esser Funds, and so I just did a
brief PowerPoint, and I think that was in your packet. We'll start by just looking at the total amount that we have already been guaranteed to receive is $3,375,383.47, and that has been through Esser 1 and Esser 2. Esser 1, we were awarded August 10th, and that was the first grant, $706,241.21. With that, I just broke down exactly what we had used, how we allocated those funds, and we have been using those through the current year. So learning loss, which was before and after school tutoring and summer learning programs, we had like $69,000. Funds to cover additional substitute teachers for the year, where we've had to have, additional coverage for quarantine and isolation. We had budgeted $27,000. We budgeted $15,000 to cover unemployment cost. We have actually done pretty good on that compared to what we thought, but we went ahead and budgeted that. Any funds that are unused, we will do a revision and we will clean up, and that kind of thing. But so I'm not sure. I don't think we've spent all of that $15,000 at this point. We did reimburse the district. We had bought some books when this first started. When we were doing lunches, we distributed some books, so we reimbursed the district for that. A huge portion of this went to Chromebooks. We bought 748 Chromebooks, and that was $220,000. $20,000 was allocated to special ed for iPads and apps for the special ed students, that needed those. We also funded a mental health counselor, 1 nurse, 3 custodians, a part-time communications coordinator, and then just a very small portion for administration of the grant, which was about $200,000, and that includes all the salary and benefits for all those positions. We reimbursed the district for postage costs. There was a lot of things that had to be mailed, especially for special ed students and students that did not have computers at home, work packets and things like that. So we put $5,000 back for that. We purchased some online virtual learning programs, so about $116,000, and then additional costs for graduation expenses, which was right at $6,000. We put $17,500 in cleaning supplies, buying water, bottled water for the schools, hand sanitizer, and then additional medical supplies was about $4,500. The state did start sending us medical supplies each month, where we do an online order every month, and so that has helped us tremendously. Otherwise, we would have had to have spent a lot more money for gloves and gowns and masks and face shields and all that kind of stuff. So, in the midst of all that first round, we also received a $120,000 state remote learning technology grant, and so that paid for 374 Chromebooks. So that was kind of a surprise that we wasn't expecting, but we were sure glad to get it. And then we also had a $40,000 state reopening and programmatic supports grant. We purchased an ACT prep program that's for, it can be used on a device for students. We also purchased some CTE course content for virtual learning, and then Advancement Play-Doh, which was an online platform for grades 7 through 12. And then we also purchased, because we've got all this technology coming in, we purchased a software management program to help us with that. And I can't say enough great things about Rob and Norm. They have worked tirelessly on everything throughout the year, but on top of that, we have asked them to change our software or our technology inventory to an online program that's going to be a little bit easier for us to manage. We're going to be able to scan all of the technology devices in the district, and I think Rob told me today we have over 4,500 devices and
4,500 internet connected devices total.
Yeah, which is a huge amount whenever you get to thinking about just everything, all the interactive TVs and smart boards and all those things that we have to keep up with. So they've worked tirelessly to get all this done. Then in Esser 2, we're waiting on final approval, but that could be any day. They have sent that back twice just to make some very minor revisions, and so we just had to move some things from different line items. But that grant is $2,669,142.26. And the things that we have in there, and we did survey the entire district, administrators, teachers, all of our support personnel. That survey went to everybody. And so the top 3 things that came back out of everything was to finish our one-to-one initiative, replace our smart boards, and then also if we could do a bonus for employees for all the extra time worked. So that's the first thing in there, is to do a bonus for all employees, and that's going to be about $438,000, and everybody will receive a $1,000 bonus. We also, the state went back and gave a raise, a 2% raise from January until June for certified employees. However, the BEP does not fund all of our certified positions, and so in order for us to be able to do that across the district, we did put the $300 for about 50 positions that are not funded through BEP for that certified increase in salary. Funds for learning loss before and after school camps, or before and after school tutoring and summer camps, we have put an additional $123,000 in that. The state is going to fund part of that, but we are not certain. You have to, like for example, at elementary, I have to serve 211 students in upcoming grades 1 through 5. And if we don't serve that 211 students, then we'll get a prorated amount. So there's no guarantee. We have sent out information about that. Parents are signing students up for the summer learning programs right now, and those numbers are coming in today. I think we had about 173 kids that had signed up so far, but the middle school has to have
42 per grade, 126.
126. So we were afraid it's required. We have to offer it, but we may not get the full amount from the state. So we were afraid not to go ahead and budget money in case we don't get the full reimbursement from the state to fund the program. Also, something that's coming up, it's a new law that's been passed. In order for teachers to renew their teaching license in grades K through 5, if they have to take a required state course in early literacy. We are going to host one of those camps in the district the week of May 31st. They will pay a $1,000 stipend for K through 2 teachers that take that course. 3 through 5 teachers have to take it, but they will not pay them a stipend, but it's required for their license. And so when we met and talked about that, we didn't feel like it was fair for K2 teachers to be paid to do it and 3-5 not to be paid. So we budgeted the additional cost for the teachers in those grades to be able to take that course. And we'll only offer that if they do it this summer, the same as when the K2 teachers can be paid. If they choose not to do it now and they wait, that's up to them. The virtual learning, we budgeted $30,000 to reimburse part of the cost for the Connections Academy, the students that we have enrolled in the district online. Then we also budgeted $196,000 for virtual learning platforms. We budgeted pretty much the same types of positions that we had this year. There was just a couple of other things that we went ahead and picked up for 1 year. The mental health counselor, a nurse, 3 custodians, the virtual learning coordinator position, a career coach at the CTE center, which will help address students that have experienced some learning loss and that they just need some help trying to navigate their career. A technology assistant, the part-time communications coordinator, a SPED compliance coordinator, and then just a small percentage for administration of the grant. In technology, we budgeted $23,000 for Sophos license. That's something that expires this year that would have to come out of the GP budget anyway. So we went ahead and picked that up while we had the opportunity. 1,500 Chromebook cases, 200 laptops for teachers. We're gonna move away from the desktop to the teachers having a laptop. In the event that we have to go back to virtual learning, they would have that laptop they could, take home if they had to work from home, that kind of thing. 83 interactive TVs, 900 Chromebooks, and that will finish out our one-to-one initiative. Servers to support all this technology, and then 250 wireless access points. We're going to go ahead and try and upgrade that while we have the funds to be able to do it, so that all of these devices work the way they should. And that totals $971,000.
Are the interactive TVs replacing the smart boards?
Yes. And every classroom will have an interactive TV at that point. We've also got in there to purchase, to replace all the water fountains in the schools with water bottle filling stations, 175 ionization units that will go in our air returns to clean the air in all of our units. We are also going to purchase awnings for Doe, Laurel, Mount City, and the middle school. And if you have questions about that, Herbie can help you as far as where those will be put. We also expect that we're probably going to have graduation outdoors again. That's kind of what we're thinking. And so instead of renting chairs like we had to last time, we always have that need for chairs for different events. And so we're going to purchase the chairs, the racks, and then a trailer for storage to where any school, if they're having an event and they need chairs, we can just take that to them and pack them back up, and then, just keep them all together. Reimburse drivers for the cost of their annual physical. This is something that the ETSU medical students have always done for them in the summer. They weren't allowed to this year because of the pandemic, and so the drivers had to go to their primary care doctors to have this done, and they had to pay for that out of pocket. And so we're going to reimburse them if they can bring us a receipt where they had to pay for that out of, on their own. And then indirect costs with the budget, that's just something that goes back into GP as far as, just kind of a benefit of having the grant and all the costs associated with it. So in total funds just this year, we've had about $3.5 million that we've added, to the district. And then coming soon, we talked a little bit about this at work session, but we found out yesterday that the next relief package is passed, and so we got our preliminary allocation through a federal programs group that I'm in, and we are looking at $5.996 million coming our way. So that's kind of where we're at.
And right now, we're talking about what to do with those Esser 3 funds.
Right.
You've certainly done a lot of work with this, and I think the money's been well spent for our school system. And I know those ionization units will help, not just when COVID's over, but with a whole lot of other illnesses. All right.
Those units, we're putting them in here too, right?
Every
in the building.
unit in the system.
Okay.
Good job. We appreciate all the hard work that everybody's done, Rob and his crew, and Tina and Angie to get the grant, and all the teachers and everybody who gave input. All right, next item, approve the bonus for employees using ESSER 2 funds and then BEP funds.
Yes, as Angie alluded to in the ESSER 2.0 grant, we would like to give a $1,000 bonus to all our employees for all the additional hard work they have done. All of our employees have worked so hard during COVID, and we appreciate everything they've done. They went above and beyond. So we would like to give them a $1,000 bonus with the BEP funds, retroactive from January to June. The legislation gave a 2% increase, which ends up being about a $300 that we would need to give additional for the certified employees, because that's only for the certified portion of the BEP that it was given. So that's the requirement we have to do with BEP. So that's what we would like to do for our employees.
But as we talked about earlier, the $1,000 is the bonus that goes to all employees, and that's coming from the Esser Funds, and that's one of the things that those funds were designated for, is to give additional compensation to the school staff who worked extra during all the COVID. And then the BEP funds are something totally separate. That is what the governor put in his budget for Tennessee, and that is a retroactive, he made it retroactive to January. And so those funds are totally separate, but the bonus is the same for everyone.
$1,000 bonus.
And then we're just simply passing on the BEP funds for those teachers who weren't covered by the governor's budget.
Correct.
So they're two separate things.
Correct.
All right, do we have a motion on this item?
I move we approve bonuses for all employees using Esser 2.0 and the BEP fund.
We have a second?
I'll second.
We have discussion, any further discussion on this? All right, if you will call the roll.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Payne,
Yes.
Ms. Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Carlton.
Yes.
And I would like to say, we hope to pay this out in May to our employees, depending on when they approve ESSER. So our goal is to pay it out in May.
And we, it's kind of a token of appreciation. Of course, the funds came from the federal government, but it's a token of appreciation to our employees for all the hard work they've done. And, as we've said each meeting, other than the first 2 weeks of school, we've been 100% in our schools and managed it extremely well, done all our sports. You're talking about prom and you're talking about graduation.
Yep.
All right. Next item is to approve the occupational safety and health program plan that's required by TOSHA. We have to update this every 7 years. Dr. Simcox?
Yes, this is just a requirement. That plan is up, and again, we have to do that every 7 years. Angie and Herbie work with TOSHA and OSHA on that, so it's just updating and approving our plan.
Okay, do we have a motion on this item?
Move we approve.
Okay, we've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Have a second. Is there any more discussion on this or any questions? All right. Let's call the roll.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Payne,
Yes.
Ms. Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Carlton.
Yes. Next item is to approve a memorandum of understanding with Niswonger for Project On Track.
We talked a little bit about this at the work session. This is funded completely through Niswonger. It's to help in K-3 literacy with our students. Very excited. Niswonger is a great partner for not only Upper East Tennessee, but Johnson County schools. So very excited about this Project On Track.
And can you explain just a little bit about what it's going to do?
Yes. Not only is it going to provide extra, enrichment and remediation for our K-3 students in literacy during the summer, but it's also going to provide that during the school year after school. There will be stipends for those that are doing that, whether it's an assistant. We have some great assistants who's already said they will work this, or our teachers that provide this remediation after school, but it's all funded through Niswonger.
So you've got all sorts of resources for children who are behind
Yes, we do.
and need to catch up. So for any parents that are listening that are concerned about their child's progress in school, they just simply need to reach out, and you've got something pretty much for everybody.
We do. We do.
All right. So do we have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion we approve it.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All right, if you will call the roll, please.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Payne,
Yes.
Ms. Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Carlton.
Yes. Next item is our 5-year plan, an update, and this is to use survey results to schedule summer PD opportunities.
Yes.
What's PD?
Professional development opportunities. That's actually, Angie put that out last week. The deadline is for tomorrow. This is for our employees, both our certified and our non-certified, to do a survey of some needs that they were looking at for summer professional development. So the deadline for that is tomorrow. So just wanted to update you on that is part of the 5-year plan, and we do that every year.
Next item is budget update.
Okay.
Ms. Lipford.
The school department at the end of February was 73.0% revenue received and 59.73% of appropriations expended in general purpose fund, 45.9% revenue received and 61.52% of appropriations expended in federal projects, 36.2% revenue received and 41.87% of appropriations expended in central cafeteria, and Head Start, which runs on this actual budget is a calendar year project, was 13.9% revenue received and 17% of appropriations expended for the month of February. Taking a look at sales tax collections received in February but were for the month of January, collections were $226,831. Collections were up $44,748 from the prior month and up $52,916 from the same month in the prior year. Property tax collections received in February were $889,400.52. Collections were up $584,575 from the prior month and down $73,493 from the same month in the prior year. And just remember, these numbers are before the split occurs.
All right. Any questions for Tina? We got our packets here. Looks like we got some extra packets.
Got a lot of information there.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Simcox.
Yes, you had your Head Start and pre-K information in your packet. Lori, do you want to share what you're doing as far as registration?
We want to just for Head Start pre-K, we're working on kindergarten right now, but we have an online application. If anybody wants to register for Head Start and pre-K, they go online and register through our Child Plus program, or they can still come in and pick up a paper packet. We have released that on our website, but we've not done a call out yet because I wanted to make sure it worked before we put it out to everybody. But so far we've gotten 28 applications, and it's not a first come first serve basis in Head Start and pre-K, so they can fill out applications all the way through the summer. But it's worked really well. It comes right into my Child Plus program, all the information we need, so it's been great. And hopefully we're going to get kindergarten set up soon to where the parents can just fill it out online instead of coming into the schools to register.
U-Trust grant information, just wanted to sort of give you an update. We did receive $23,200 from our U-Trust that we always get when we go to TSBA. What we're working on right now as part of that grant is 2 items. Stephen and Herbie, this was actually Dr. Long's idea. I thought it was a great idea, is replacing the school zone lights and making it to where you can, I guess, schedule them remotely. Right now, if we have a 2-hour delay or early dismissal, they have to actually go to the school zone lights and change them at the light, trying to get that to where we can do it remotely and they can do it online. So that's one of the things we're going to put in the grant. The other thing is our website license is up, and which also goes along with our app for the Johnson County Schools, so I'm going to include that as well. So we're excited about that. U-Trust Support Day is coming up on April the 1st, so we will be honoring all of our school support employees that day. Board retreat, if it's okay with everyone, we would like to have Saturday, April the 10th at 10 o'clock at the Johnson County High School. We're working on an agenda right now. If you have any items you would like to have on there, please let me know, but I will send out the agenda and have you all look at it and see if there's anything you want to add. Very excited. Chef Heath is going to be feeding us lunch that day, our new culinary arts teacher, so we're excited about that. Just wanted to give you a little legislative update. The last time we met was getting ready to go to Nashville and actually speak in front of the House and Senate, and it came the big storm. So they did cancel that, but they did do an online with us. We had 3 House Education Committee members that actually got online with us, and we talked about some of the points with funding and BEP, how BEP is not fully funded, and when they start making changes to BEP and fully funded, that will help school systems. Talked about, what do they consider literacy? What is their definition of literacy? Summer camps, the issues around summer camps. This is not a one-size-fits-all model. We talked about the third grade retention law that will come into place in 2 years. Definitely need to be more conversations around that. And then just learning loss as a whole and how that's impacted every system. So we were able to do that. 2 things that I just want to add real quick. Do want to wish all the juniors good luck on the ACT on Tuesday. So I think, I wish them well, and I know that they're going to do a great job. And then we have been invited to the Neva Commons on March the 20th. It's on a Saturday. Angie and I are actually going to go down. They're having a career fair. So we're going to set up a little table and try to get substitutes. We're always needing substitutes, whether it's teachers, custodians, cooks. So we're going to set up a little booth and see if we can recruit some substitutes. That's all I have.
When did you say that was?
Saturday, March the 20th. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I think it's from 10 to 2.
All right, Mr. Payne,
I don't have anything.
Ms. Reese,
I'd just like to thank everyone for everything that they're doing, especially Miss Angie for all her grant writing and all the extra work that she's put in. And I know it takes a lot of work, and thank you.
Mr. Long,
A couple things. Our annual soup supper for the school over there for the Olin Bentley Scholarship Fund is this coming Saturday, 13th. So come out, and if you can, come out and support that. The other thing, we lost 3 of our good teachers to the prison. They resigned. I know they're helping themselves, but we're sure going to miss them.
they went
Daniel
to teach,
McEwen.
they didn't go to prison.
Well, that's true. Let's rephrase that. To the prison to teach.
Yeah.
Daniel McEwen and Matt Bray and Terry Henson, we surely will miss them and hate that they have chosen to do that, but wish them good luck in their pursuit. That's all I'm saying.
And I just, again, want to thank you for all the hard work that y'all have done, I think, very effectively using these Esser funds that have come to us in the millions of dollars to improve our school system. I mean, we got a little system, and there's no way that much money could have been spent other than them furnishing that from the federal government. And the work that y'all have done is tremendous. I mean, it's really great. I also want to, again, thank Dr. Simcox for being selected to be one of the people that the House and Senate Education Committees look to get advice on education issues. And what she's just talked about are some very important issues. And a lot of times the little counties get left out. And fortunately, we have a director of schools that is a part of those discussions, and we're not getting left out this time. So we do appreciate that. Is there anything else that we need to discuss? If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
motion's accepted, adjourned.